Welcome folks, Groove Technique and Musical Drumming. I'm John McColgan and we are on episode 5 in our Masters series. And as you might be able to tell, we're going to get back to the groove. We got to keep incorporating. Now for you professional drummers and other sort of advanced musicians who are tuning in here, the all-important concept of the internal clock has to still be at play. So as mentioned in earlier episodes in this series, I like to break it down into pieces, right? Tempo, meter, time, and sound. And then you can add another S for song, or an M if you prefer, music, okay? Play the song. Creating a nice sound using good technique, open grip, and if you are playing in the 16th note mode, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a flowing. So I want to start off this episode by demonstrating a couple of really well-known grooves, tricky to master, and listen, I'm going to do my best with them. First one has got that swinging feel that we discussed, okay? The legendary halftime shuffle from Bernard Pretty Purdie. So it's a halftime shuffle, just to break it down quickly. The left hand filling in those grace notes to get the whole triplet happening. And you saw me also break into the John Bonham version with the eighth notes happening, eighth note triplets happening on the ride cymbal. Let's move on to another one. The CISSY strut, as best as I can emulate it. The legendary Joseph Zigaboo Model East with the funky meters. And one thing I want to point out there before we move on, okay, first of all, I'm sticking that hi-hat the way it feels comfortable for me. I actually don't know if he used all right-handed notes. You could see me flowing like this. And more importantly though, the first part, the A part, is played rather straight. And we get to the bridge and it's swung. You could find the notation for this over at musicaldrumming.com. Getting back to some different concepts and the way beats can be created. So we've discussed syncopation at length. One of the things about syncopation is that it's like, okay, it comes out of the idea of moving notes around or hitting a certain punch that the guitar player or the horns might be playing, so you syncopate and that happens. One thing that happened, I believe, later on, especially in jazz fusion music, and actually all the way back to Mike Clark and the early Lenny White and those guys, my man Billy Cobham, is this idea of beat displacement. So moving notes around so that they don't land where you expect them to land, and it's done in a methodical way. Rather than just kind of syncopating, we're actually going, okay, I'm going to move these notes over. Here's a very simple example of what beat displacement really is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Specifically displacing it by an 8th note or a 16th note. Here's a couple of beats. First one, something that I kind of played around with a lot. This is definitely influenced by James Brown. 2, 3, 4. Okay, this next groove I'm going to try to play here. I will try to play exactly what's notated again. This is based on the improvisational 16th note flow style involving layered and linear elements that in one way or another may have come straight out of a particular recording by Herbie Hancock's Headhunters featuring the incredible Mike Clark on drums. Actual proof. This is based on that idea. 2, 3. So yeah, 1 and 2 and kind of again displaced so that we feel like it's 3, 4. Really hip. Here's a groove that I came up with inspired by some players I saw, taking the linear idea to its kind of natural extension, never playing anything at the same time as anything else. And it's based on a 3-note grouping of 16th notes. 2, 3, 4. Going to get into a concept now, layered beats. Okay, the opposite, the other aspect. In this case, I got 4 grooves, 2 beats specifically. One based on snare syncopation and one based more on the kick pumping syncopation, so they feel different. But the hi-hat pattern, all right, 2 different hi-hat patterns, so 4 combinations. First hi-hat pattern is a typical kind of 1 EN, 2 EN, 3 EN, 4 EN. Let's get into it here. Okay, same hi-hat pattern, different groove. Two, three, four. Moving along now, let's take those same 2 beats and instead of playing 1 EN, 2 EN, the hi-hat or ride cymbal pattern, as the case may be, is going to be 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. right, folks, I got one more crazy groove for you here to finish off this episode. Again, it's all notated for you at musicaldrumming.com. This groove is quite a piece of work. See if you recognize it. Hope to see you all next time. Big shout out to my sponsors, Pearl Drums, Headhunters, Drumsticks and Creations, Remo Drumheads. Big hello to my buddy Lenny and Lorne at Drum Shop, Steve's Music Montreal.